take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. Remember that old Lum and Edwards saying, look before you leap? An old saying now, but how important it is to follow it, even today. Especially when you're buying a food product, such as malted milk. With many inferior articles offered as malted milk everywhere at cheap prices, it is more important than ever that you look well before you buy. Is that cheaper brand really as good as Horlicks, the original? Does it contain the rich, full cream milk that Horlicks does? Or is it made with skim milk? Does it, like Horlicks, contain only choice selected wheat and fine malted barley, specially processed to preserve minerals and vitamins? Or is it just a mixture of inferior malt powder, raw cocoa, and ordinary sugar? Satisfy yourself on all these points, and you'll soon see that no cheap imitation can begin to compare with Horlicks. For quality, for flavor, and results, Horlicks malted milk is known round the world as the finest there is. Remember that, and when next you buy malted milk, get Horlicks, the original. You can get it, at your druggist in either natural or chocolate flavor. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, things look a little blue for the Pine Ridge movie magnates. First the musician, then the carpenters, and finally the motion picture operator have joined the payroll of Squire Skimp, who is opening up an opposition house. Since the help deserted, Lum and Abner have been forced to take over the job of getting the theater ready. And as we look in on them tonight, we find the old fellows substituting for the carpenters, who ought to be rushing the Pine Ridge Planetarium toward an early opening date. Listen.
Well, hello, Dick.
Howdy, Dick.
Come in.
What are you fellas doing?
Why, we're trying to get things finished up around here.
Well, where's all your carpenters? I thought Ezra Seastrunk had charge of this remodeling.
Well, he did, but they all quit and went to work for Squire Skimp.
Yeah, Squire come over here and offered them twice what we was a-paying them.
You mean they just walked out and left things half finished here?
Yeah, me and Abner's put in 2 days now. Working day and night, you might say. Had to just lock up the store over there.
Yeah, I come by there a while ago looking for you and saw it was locked. What's the matter with Grandpap? Couldn't he look after the store for you?
Well, he quit us, too. He's working for Squire now, too.
Yeah, everybody quit us. Grandpap and Cedric and everybody else.
Cedric quit you?
Yeah, well, we ain't holding it again them, though, Diggs. Squire's just trying to keep us from opening up over here and offering them so much they just couldn't afford not to take it.
Well, I thought that you sent Cedric into the county seat to learn how to operate the picture machine so that he could run your show for you.
Well, we did, but he gave us back the money we give him for his expenses.
Yeah, we got another feller now, though, that's going to run it a heap better than Cedric.
Who's that, Abner?
Me, I don't.
Well, you don't know anything about running the moving picture machine, do you?
Well, I don't know whether I do or not. I never tried it.
I think Abner will catch on to it all right.
Oh, yeah.
The machine will be out here tomorrow, and he's going to practice a few days before we open up.
So Squire's trying to keep you fellas from opening up, huh?
Looks that way, sure.
Yeah.
You know, he got them chairs we was aiming on using from the lodge hall. See, he rented the whole thing over there, the hall and the chairs and everything.
Yeah, it's a shame that Squire's putting in a show, too. He'll make a mean competitor. Won't stop at anything.
No.
Oh, we found that out.
Well, I'd hate to see you fellas lose a bunch of money in this thing.
Well, we've gone too far now to back out. I've always felt so. If a man does right, why, he'll come out on top. Squire's having everything his way now, looks like, but I just can't believe a man can make a success out of nothing and going about it like he is.
No, nor me neither.
Me and Abner's just going on about our business, trying to be upright and honest in all our dealings. And if we can't make a success out of it that way, well, we'll just have to lose, that's all.
Well, now, you're just right about it, too. I'm glad to hear you talk that way.
Of course, it's awful unencouraging right now. Looks like everything's going against us. We want to get opened up and going before Squire got that place of his ready. But I don't know now. All these carpenters are taking out and quitting.
Well, let's see. What all have you got to do yet?
Well, we got to finish the lobby out there, then build a box office there in front. And, of course, we got to paint the front, too.
Well, now, we got to get some seats lined. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's another thing that's going to slow us up. We can't afford to buy no new one.
Well, I was just thinking, I believe there's a place in there at the county seat that rents them folding chairs out.
Rents them out?
Yeah.
Well, now, that's just what we need if we can find them.
Well, I'm going in there tomorrow. I'll look around and see if I can't pick you up some. How many you need?
Well, I don't know hardly now. Squire's opened up against us. There was 200 of them we thought we was going to get from the lodge, but I reckon we won't need that many now.
Well, now, if I were you fellas, I wouldn't stand back on Squire's account. Just go ahead as though he wasn't even over there.
Just taking on him, huh?
Why, sure. I'd like to see you fellas run him clear out of business.
Well, all we can do is just open it up and hope that the folks comes here instead of going over there.
Well, I believe that you two fellas got a lot more friends around here than Squire.
Well, I'd hate to think that we never.
Why, sure, and I know they'd rather patronize your show than his. There ain't hardly anybody here in town that Squire ain't skinned at one time or another with some fake stock scheme or skin game of some kind.
No.
Yeah, he's awful bad about that. Always got something to sell. I never seen a feller like him. He ain't did an honest day's work as long as I've known him.
Yeah, but one thing he does know, and that's the show business. You know how well he done with our circus when he's running that for us.
Yeah, I know how he cheated us out of it.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about, he got the crowds out to it. He'd get out there in front making them speeches and telling them anything to get them inside. I was always sitting there waiting to sell tickets. I had to hide my face. I couldn't bear to hear him tell them all them things, knowing that they weren't so.
Well, every time I heard him give one of them speeches out front, why, I always just broke my neck to get on the inside to see the show.
Yeah.
Thought every time that we must have some stuff in there that I never knowed anything about.
Abner would. He would. He'd go right in there and look all around for the stuff Squire telling him about.
Well, of course, that's all right when you're moving from town to town like he was with the circus. But now, running a picture show, why, you're catering to the same people every day. You can't misrepresent things to them or they won't come back.
Yeah, like that old saying of mine. You can fool some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people some of the... yeah. Well, I mean...
Well, for the land's sakes, talk about the devil and his image will appear. Look yonder.
my goodness alive. Now, what's he doing coming over here?
I hope he ain't going to try to hire me and you now, Lauck.
No.
Well, maybe I better run along. He'll more likely want to talk business with you.
No, now, sit still, Dick. We ain't going to talk nothing with him. I don't know what he wants, but I know I ain't going to do it, whatever it is.
No, me neither.
Wait a minute. Well, howdy, Squire. Come in.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Hello, Squire.
How you, Squire?
Why, all right, I reckon, Dick. Lum, I just wondered if I couldn't see you private on a little business matter here.
Well, whatever you've got to say, Squire, you can just say it right out in front of Dick here.
Well, all right. It don't make a lot of difference to me, I don't guess.
Well, I can step outside while you fellas talk.
No. Sit still, Dick. What was it, Squire?
Well, I just noticing you men aren't getting along very fast with your remodeling here.
Yeah, we're getting along all right.
I'll be opened up and doing a big business long before you men get this place ready here.
Well, you ought to. You hired every carpenter in the town away from us.
Yes, well, now, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, Lum. I feel bad about that, too. I'm afraid that I've inconvenienced you. We've been friends too long to let anything like that come between us. I guess that I offered them a little better wages. Not knowing it, of course.
You know blame well you did.
It just looks like that you fellows made a big mistake by not taking me in as a third partner. And I just thought that I'd drop over and see if you men had changed your minds about that. Reconsider my proposition.
How much would you pay for a third interest, Squire?
Well, the other day, Lum, I was willing to put up a third of the cost opening up this place. But, of course, I couldn't do anything like that now. But I've got a new offer to make you.
A new one?
Yes.
Well, I figured you'd see where you're making a mistake opening up again.
Well, I'll stop the work on mine right now and not open it up. We'll change the name of this one to the name that I had picked out for mine. Change the name to Skimp's Hippodrome. Then the three of us will go in together as equal partners with me as manager. And you gentlemen put up the money and I'll manage the theater.
Wait a minute. You mean just give you a third interest in it for nothing?
Well, no, not giving it to me, Lum, exactly. you'd be buying my goodwill and experience in the show business and getting rid of a competitor at the same time.
Now, hold on. Let me get this straight. Me and Abner puts up all the money, and you take over the management of it, and we'd all three be equal partners, huh?
Yes, I'd be willing to split the profits 3 ways with you. Give you men just as much as I take for myself, on account of us being such old friends, you know.
Well, let's see, Squire. You made us a proposition. Now I'm going to make you one.
Yes, well, fine, Lum. I'll listen. That's the only way to get together on a deal.
Now, careful now, Lum.
I know what I'm doing, Abner. Squire, we'll give you,
Yes.
We'll give you just 2 minutes to get out that front door there. I'll take this sawhorse and rump it right around your neck. Now get out of here, and don't you never stick that ugly face of yours back in here again.
Yeah, me
now,
too.
Scat.
You can just go jump in the lake. That's who you are, and I'm the man that can do it, too.
Well, all right, gentlemen, if that's the way you feel about it. But I'll tell you one thing. You haven't heard the last from Squire Skin. I'll see that this show will never open its doors. That I promise. Good day.
Well, I might have did wrong. No telling what he will do now.
Well, I'm glad you done just that. Them was the very words that I was going to say, Lum. Only I couldn't think of it.
Granny, we've got to open up first now.
By Jack, you will open up first, too. I'll help you. Get me a hammer there, saw, and tell me what to do. We'll get this show opened up first if we have to work night and day.
Well, it looks as though Dick Huddleston may help to avert the total eclipse that's been threatening the Pine Ridge Planetarium. Howdy, everybody. Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wonder why day after day I tell you about the superiority of Horlicks malted milk over all imitations, here's the reason. Every day, thousands of new users of malted milk are being created. Now, these new users don't know about the many cheap imitations of Horlicks that have recently appeared in some stores. They don't know that where Horlicks uses only full cream milk, these imitations often use just skim milk. That where Horlicks uses only choice selected wheat and finest malted barley, these imitators use raw cocoa, inferior malt, and a lot of ordinary sugar. And that whereas the ingredients in these imitations are just mixed up together, Horlicks uses a special vacuum process that preserves the minerals and vitamins. That's why I always say get Horlicks, the quality malted milk that really gives results. Horlicks can be obtained at any druggist in either natural or chocolate flavor. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, it seems that nothing can avert a movie war in Pine Ridge. Yesterday, after Lum had threatened him with bodily harm over a new partnership offer, Squire Skimp declared that he would prevent the Pine Ridge Planetarium from ever opening its doors. Well, at the last moment, Dick Huddleston joined forces with Lum and Abner. And in spite of Squire's threats, as we look in on the old fellows today, we find them hard at work trying to get their theater finished just as soon as possible. Listen.
Come on down, Abner. Here comes Dick Huddleston. He must have just got back from the county seat. Well, it's time to go eat supper anyway. Oh, it's way after 6 o'clock. Yeah, I heard Walter Bates' sawmill whistle long ago. Well, howdy, Dick.
Yeah, howdy.
Did you get the seat?
Yeah, I got 250, Lum. I ran them for 3 months.
Well, good for you. Granny, that's one worry off my mind.
Well, they said they'd send them out tomorrow by truck.
Well, that is fine. Now, what'd you have to pay for them?
Well, I got him down a little by renting them for 3 months that way. I got the whole bunch for $35 a month. He won 50 first.
Well, that's a heap better than buying them.
Yeah.
Well, we sure appreciate you looking after that for us, Dave.
Oh, I was glad to do it, Lum. I had to be in town there anyway. I've been getting along today.
Well, pretty good. We got the box office built. Ain't set it out there in front of you. Ain't put the glass in it yet.
Where's Abner?
Why, he's up there in the booth. I hollered at him just now for him to come down. Time to stop and eat. He's been up there all afternoon fooling with that machine, trying to learn how to manipulate it.
Oh, the machine got here today, huh?
Yeah, that's right. It come after you left.
Yeah.
It's all set up and everything. The fella that brung it out hope us get it up there in the booth and set it up there.
Well, you fellas be ready to open up here in a few days now, won't you, Lum?
Well, yeah, I called up the folks on the party line this morning and made an announcement. Told them we was going to have our grand opening Saturday night.
Saturday night?
Yeah, but I don't know why I got back here and got to looking around. There's a heap more work to do around here than I thought there was.
Yeah, you're going to have to get busy if you get things ready by Saturday.
Now, here comes Abner. You just carried away with that machine. Loves machinery.
Hey, doggy, I believe I about got that thing figured out, Lum. One or two gadgets there, and I ain't found... Oh, well, howdy, Dick.
Hello, Abner.
Dick was just telling me you got the chairs for us today, Abner. Coming out tomorrow.
Well, good.
Never had to buy them, neither. Just rented them.
Well, old Squire'll have a fit when he sees them coming out here, won't he?
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of fits before this thing's over, bound you.
What all you got to do now, Lum, to get it ready?
Well, we've got the front to paint. Of course, that don't have to be did before we open up, but it'd look a heap better if it was.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And we've got to set the chairs up when they get here.
Well, that won't be much of a job. And you might get the truck driver to set them up where you want them as he unloads them for you.
You mean just set them down through the house here?
Yeah, as he brings them in, you might as well just set them up along where you want them, get them a little extra, you know.
You can do that,
Sure.
Well, now, we ain't got them wires put in here for the electricity neither, Lum.
Yeah, Granny. I know there was something. I meant to call the light company there at the county seat today when I was over at the store using the phone.
Yeah, well, you better get started on that, Lum. That might be quite a job getting this place wired up.
Yeah, I'll call him up when I get over to the house.
Well, you better just come over to the house and eat supper with me, Lum, if we're going to come back down here and work tonight. Ain't no use for you to take time to cook your own dinner.
Oh, no, Abner. It's nice, but I wouldn't want to put Elizabeth to all that bother.
Why, it won't be no trouble. She can just lay an extra plate. Might not have no fancy victuals. She's been in the field all day, but now you're welcome to what we got.
No, I wouldn't want to impose none on you. I can fix myself up a little snack over at the house or sometime.
Yeah, all right.
Of course, if you're just bound and determined for me to go, I reckon I could.
Well, just do as you like about it. We'd love to have you, know that.
Well, you put it that way, I reckon I'll just have to go, I reckon.
What time you fellas going to be back down here?
Oh, if it's ordinary to take us over an hour, will it, Abner?
Why, no. If it's after 6 o'clock, why, it's more than likely ready right now.
Sort of depends on how much food Elizabeth's got cooked up for.
You mean how long it takes you to eat, bro? Well, I'll tell you then. I'll come back over here tonight and help you fellas.
Well, now, that's awful thought of you, Dick. I tell you, I want to tell you, me and Abner appreciate you helping us this way.
Yeah, we sure do, Dick. I don't know what we would have did if we hadn't had a friend like you to help us.
Oh, now, don't start that stuff. I'm just helping you because I happen to know some of the low-down stunts that Squire Kemp's been pulling on you. I'm just anxious to see you get the best out of him if you can.
Well, it does look like he's done everything he could to be a hindrance to us, all right.
Yeah, well, you and Abner had this idea first, opening up a picture show here in Pine Ridge, and I want to see you make a go of it. I'd just like to see you get so much business that Squire'd have to close his doors over if he does open up.
Yeah. Well, we both can't make a success of them.
Well, I know. No.
And enough people here in Pine Ridge to support two shows.
Well, I know. That's why it's important to get this show open and started before Squire gets ready.
Yeah. Just hope he's here, that announcement that Lum made this morning over the party line. If he won't go higher than a kite.
What all did you say, Lum?
Oh, I don't know. I just told him that we were showing our confidence in the future of Pine Ridge by opening up a theater to provide entertainment for them. And
Yeah.
We're going to have the best pictures that we could buy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Of course, I started out with that same speech all us give down for the opening of the school exercises, you know, heartstrings of memory strikes the tender chord.
Yeah, that's your old standby, Lum.
Well, I don't know. The minute I get up on my feet to give a speech, I know it. I'm right off into that.
Yeah, I don't care what subject Lum's going to talk on. He always starts out the same way. I always just sit there and stop up my ears about the first 30 minutes every time I hear him.
Well, I never talked that long on the party line.
Well, no, you never today, but I say generally when you go to make a talk, I do that. For I know you're going to give that same one that you gave for years on.
Well, I got down to cases with them, though. I told them we wanted them all to come out to our grand opening Saturday night, and that the admission price would be 25 cents for adults and 10 cents for children.
25 and 10, huh?
Yeah, I made a right long talk about it, all right.
Yeah, well, now, you done a good job, too, Lum. Just as good a job out loud talking as I ever heard you do. Made me sort of anxious to be there myself.
Yeah.
Well, now, that first impression is going to mean a lot. So you want to have things looking as good as you can. I'll be glad to help you. I can get the wife to stay in the store most of the time this week. She's anxious to help any way she can, too.
Well, Abner, you might get Elizabeth to stay down in the Jot 'em Down store. That just gives me an idea.
Well, I reckon I could. She's awful busy on the farm right now. She's got a lot of plowing to do, but I'll make mention of it to her and see if I can't get her to stay down there for her.
Yeah, hadn't thought about that. Well, Dick, this is sure nice of you helping us this way.
No, I'm glad to.
Like that old lettered saying of mine, a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Huh?
Nothing, Abner. I ain't got time to explain nothing to you today. I hate to bring up the subject myself, but if we're going to eat supper over at your house, we better be getting started.
Yeah, well, I just want to run over and see how you're getting along and see if you're going to work down here tonight.
Yeah, we'll meet you back over here by 7:30 at the latest. We got to figure out some different ways of advertising the opening.
Yeah, sure. Now, you want to get that well advertised, Lum. You know, it might not be a bad idea to run an ad in the county paper. That comes out Thursday, and most everybody out here reads it from cover to cover.
Manny, that's a good subject.
Yeah.
I thought we might paint a big banner saying we're opening Saturday and get somebody carried around town for the next few days.
Yeah, about the best way I know of to get the word passed around, Lum. Just call up Sister Simpson and tell her we're going to open up Saturday night, but we don't want nobody to find out about it.
Yeah, she'll let them know about it, all right.
Say, now, that's not a bad idea, Dad.
Granny, I believe I'll just call her as quick as we get over to Abner's house. Tell her it's a big secret not to tell a soul.
Well, I do know. Look, coming yonder.
Well, reckon what Cedric's doing coming over here.
Sorry, Bounty. Him and Squire's had a falling out, and he's coming over here to try to get his job back.
No, wait a minute. I know. I bet you Squire's heard that announcement of mine over the party line this morning and seen where we was going to beat him opening up and just decided not to start no picture show. I don't think he wanted to in the first place.
You suppose that's it, sure enough?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he weren't just bluffing all the way through. Never even aimed to open up one. Just figured he'd scare us into giving him a third interest in ours.
Yeah, and then yesterday when he come over here and seen it weren't going to work, why, he just taken out and give up the idea.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're right.
More than likely had to let Cedric and Grandpap and all them carpenters go, too.
Well, we oughtn't to take them back. They quit us, and I doggy, they can just stay quitters.
No, I wouldn't harm back.
No, sir.
Granny's maybe that'll learn them a lesson. They'll know next time to stay with a feller when he hires them. Just wait, I'll have some fun out of Cedric here. Don't let on now. We just let him stand there and squirm.
Yeah, I'll make him think at first, Mom, but maybe you'll hire him back.
Wait a minute. Well, what do you want, Cedric?
Yeah, why don't you stay over there with Squire Skimp if you think so much of him?
Well, Mr. Squire told me to come over here, but he told me not to let you all see me.
Not to let us see you.
No, he just said to leave some of these handbills over here and then leave right quick, but I reckon you've done saw me now, ain't you?
What handbill is that, Cedric? Let me see one of them.
Oh, it's just some handbills he had printed up this afternoon. I don't know what it said, but I reckon I better leave before he sees me talking to y'all.
Well, now, if you think you're going to get your job back, Cedric, you got another guess coming.
Oh, I can't quit Mr. Squire now. If you made me sign a contract or something.
Well, for goodness sake, Lum, look at this. Look at it.
Huh? Announcement. Pine Ridge's new theater, Skimp's Hippodrome, will have its grand opening Friday night. Friday night?
I doggy, that's the day before us, Lum.
Well, I'll be dead.
Yeah, but look down here. Look there. Admission, 5 and 10 cents.
It looks as though Squire Skimp is determined to have his grand opening first, in spite of all of Lum and Abner's efforts. to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. Have you noticed that some people seem to fairly radiate alertness, vigor, energy, action, and cheerfulness? They possess what we call vitality, and are invariably the ones who get the most out of life, as well as being the most successful. Now, I don't say that all such people are users of Horlicks malted milk, but it is a remarkable aid in building and sustaining physical vitality. As many of you know, it's a good source of vitamins and of the valuable energy-giving minerals, carbohydrates, and protein. That's why so many medical authorities have always favored Horlicks, the original malted milk. Try Horlicks this summer. It's as cool and refreshing a drink as there is, and sustaining, too. But that, of course, you'll want to find out for yourself. So get a package from your druggist. It comes in 2 flavors, you know, both natural and chocolate. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, the Pine Ridge Planetarium is very near completion. Lum and Abner have installed their motion picture projector, and Abner has been busy learning to operate it. Well, yesterday they announced that they would have their grand opening Saturday night, only to learn later that Squire Skimp has scooped them again by announcing that his show will open Friday night. As we look in on the old fellows today, Abner is up in the projecting booth, and we find Lum out in the lobby of the theater as Dick Huddleston approaches. Listen.
Sorry I couldn't come back this afternoon and help you, Lum.
Oh, well, howdy, Dick. I never seen you coming up there. Oh, that was all right. We just allowed you got busy or something.
Yeah, well, one of the CC trucks was in getting supplies for their camp, and she just more than a wife could look after by herself.
Well, we never got nothing done much, no way. Couldn't get Abner to help me.
What's the matter with him?
Why, the moving picture we're aiming on running for the opening Saturday, it come out directly after you left, and Abner got up there in the booth trying to learn how to run the film through the machine, and there he's been all afternoon.
Can't make it work, huh?
Oh, yeah, he's got it to working all right now. He had a time there at first, though. He had it in backwards and every other way. Had the people backing out of rooms when they're supposed to come in them, and horses running backwards. Worst mixed-up thing I ever seen. Now, the worst part was he couldn't get the talking to come in there at the right time somewhere or other.
The talking?
Yeah, somebody's mouth would start opening and closing like he's trying to say something, and then about the time he'd turn around and start leaving, why, you'd hear him start talking. Come in and leave before he said nothing. And he'd say hello.
Well, I guess he just didn't have it synchronized, Lum.
No, didn't have it. Which did?
Synchronized. Didn't have the sound and the picture timed together.
No, must not synchronized. Yeah. I thought at first Heroine, whatever her name is, had a man's voice till he finally got the thing together. Got it synchronized. Yeah.
He finally got it to working all right, huh?
Yeah, he got it doing fine now. It's an uncommonly good picture we've got. Lots of shooting and fighting and all.
What's the name of it?
Why, it's, the Texas Kid.
Texas Kid?
Yeah, I believe that's what they call it. Buck Jones is a hero. And can he ever fight? Granny's have never seen anything like it. If he didn't give that fella that was stealing the cattle a whooping there at the end, I never seen a fella get it.
Must have been a pretty good show, huh?
Oh, it's as good as I ever seen it. And that's the reason we ain't been able to get no work done. That crazy Abner sat up there and seen it through 4 times.
4 times?
Yeah, he has. Just going to ruin his eyes.
Why, sure.
I don't see how he can stand it. And I had to get up and come out here a minute ago.
Oh, you've been in there looking at it too, huh?
Well, yeah, but I never sat clean through the 4th time. My eyes was getting tired, and I could tell how it was going to end up anyway. It ain't as interesting after you've saw it a few times.
Well, now, Lum, you fellas aren't going to have this place ready open by Saturday if you spend all your time in there looking at the pictures.
No, that's what I say. He said Abner come on. I hollered at him to shut it off and come on down out of there a while ago when I come out, but I ain't saw him yet. Wait a minute. Let me see if he's running that thing over again.
Yeah, tell him to come on down. You got a lot to do around here yet.
Well, he's got it shut off now. I hear him coming down the steps. Come on out front, Abner. Dick's here.
You know, Lum, that's going to be quite a saving. Abner run that machine, save hiring somebody.
Yeah. I don't know, though, where he's going to make a very good hand at it or not, though. He gets too excited. Just watching a picture and forget what he's doing.
Oh, well, he'll get over that. Get used to it in a few days.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it. Up there a while ago, sticking his head out that window there in the booth, hollering at the Texas Kid and telling him where the cattle rustlers were hiding at and all that stuff. I couldn't have here for any...
Pick 'em up. Get your hands in there. The Texas Kid's in town and ready to go.
For goodness sake, Abner. Scare the daylights out of a fellow.
Yeah, you ornery coyote. Thought you'd steal them cows and lay it off onto me, did you? Thought you'd turn Mary Jane again me and win her love.
Abner, but that blame, but don't believe you're losing your reason.
The Texas Kid always gives a man a chance. Go for your guns, partner.
Just shut that up, Abner. Dick ain't saw the picture, and you think you're crazy.
You enjoyed the show, did you, Abner?
Oh, that's the best thing I saw yet. Come on in here, Dick. I'll run it first.
No, you ain't going to do no such a thing. We ain't got time to be looking at that picture again. We got some work to do here. Dick can see it Saturday night.
Well, next time I run it, well, I'll send for you, Dick. I'd love for you to see it. It's about a girl from a city, and her uncle died out there in Arizona, and left a ranch. And then she come out there to run it, and the foreman on her ranch was a crook. And he was stealing cattle from her and trying to make her think somebody else was doing it. That is, till the Texas Kid come along. And she fell in love with him, and he fell in love with her.
Well, first, though, the Texas Kid was a crook, too.
Yeah.
He was an outlaw with a price on his head, don't you know?
Oh, yeah.
And you're right there at the opening. He was standing there reading a sign on a tree, had his picture on it, and offering $1,000 for him, dead or alive.
Yeah.
That's how come him to go out there in Arizona.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Lum seen it, too.
But I could tell the minute he rid up there on that horse that he was all right feller, though.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you know, he stopped and knocked that feller down for whipping that horse.
Oh, yeah, he got awful mad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him neither. I saw the time I'd like to have did the same thing. If I could have fit like he can. He is a scrapper.
Yeah, but he changed his ways after he met Mary Jane, though.
Oh, yeah.
She had him as docile as an old cow there before the thing was over.
Well, I never blamed him, though, for what he done wrong. Don't you know, there at first, recollect when he was reading that reward sign and he got to sort of recollecting back what all had happened, and you could just see his mind working there.
Yeah, sort of thinking out loud. Anyway, it showed a picture of what he was studying about.
Yeah,
I don't see how he done that, neither.
No, I don't either, but it just all come out there, just what had went on before.
I wish I could do that.
Showed just what started all. Some cattle rustlers killed his papa. And there was 3 of them, and he swore right then that he'd get revenge.
Well, you know, he'd already got 2 of them when he got out to Mary Jane's ranch.
Yeah.
And this foreman was the other.
Yes, he was, that blamed his ornery hide. But it turned out in the end all right. He never killed this fellow, though, or Mary Jane talked him out of it.
Yeah. Well, sir, I'd just love to know how that all turned out.
And didn't you see the end of the picture, Lum?
Yeah, but it didn't show them getting married and living happy ever after or nothing.
Well, no, but it showed them walking arm in arm up to the Justice of the Peace's house. I just allowed that's what they's up to.
Yeah.
I hope so. That little Mary Jane is as fine a little woman as ever God bless.
Yeah, I had an idea they'd get married all the way through, so I guessed that right at the start.
You did? Well.
You know, when he come up on the horse and she was leaning over picking them flowers.
She had that sunbonnet on her arm there. Yeah. Dick, you sure want to see that picture now.
Well, it sounds good, all right, Abner, but there's not much use for me to see it now.
Well, there's a good lesson to it, though, Dick. Everybody ought to see it. And I just wish all the young children in town could see it.
Well, say now that gives me an idea right there. You're trying to think of some way to beat Squire opening up his theater over there. Why, he's going to open up Friday night at 5 and 10 cents admission. Why don't you have a preview Friday afternoon and let the children in free?
Have a what?
A preview, an advance showing of the picture.
Well, the only trouble we've done advertised that we'd have our grand opening Saturday night, though.
Well, that won't interfere with your opening, Lum. You can go ahead and have your grand opening Saturday night and then have this preview Friday afternoon. Get to jump on Squire's skin.
Granny, that's a good idea.
You mean have a picture show? Listen here about the Texas Kid, have that Friday afternoon?
Yeah, put it on Friday afternoon and then put it on again Saturday night.
Oh, well, good. And doggies, I'd love to see that.
Well, now, we won't say nothing to nobody about it. Just keep it a secret, Tricks, the 3 of us.
keep it a secret.
Yeah, if Squire Skimp finds out about that, he'll more likely try to have one himself. Put his on Thursday night so as to get ahead of it.
Well, here, though, Lum, you've got to let everybody know about it, or you won't have anybody out to see it.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, if we're going to let the children in for nothing, why, no, me, it don't make no difference whether they find out about it or not.
Well, but here you want a big crowd, though. There wouldn't be any point in having it if you didn't have a big crowd down there.
Yeah.
You want them all to see your theater and see what a nice place it is.
I wish there was some way of advertising without Squire finding out about it.
I tell you what we could do, Lum.
What?
Let's advertise it for Saturday afternoon and then have it Friday. That'll fool him.
Yeah, that'd fool him and everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, just fool them all.
Well, who would we get to come out to the, what'd you call that thing again, Dick?
Preview?
Yeah, who'd come out to that?
I don't know. Who?
Well, nobody. That's what I say. That won't work.
Well, I don't care when we have it, just so it ain't Friday night. That's all I care.
What's the matter with Friday night?
Well, nothing, except sort of aiming on carrying Elizabeth and Pearl over to Squire's picture show Friday night.
Over to Squire's picture show?
Yeah, I've been reading them handbills that he passed around. Doggy, if that show's half as good as he claims it to be, Lum, I don't want to miss it.
Well, for goodness sakes, Abner, that ain't going to look right.
No, I don't think it will either, Abner. If I was you, I'd just stay away from over there.
Why, sure.
Well, why not?
Well, in the first place, it ain't going to look right for me and you both to be over there on his opening night, and I promised Evelina I'd take her. She's seen one of them handbills.
Even Lum and Abner don't seem to be able to resist the lure of Squire Skimp's advertising. Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. If you're looking for an easy, safe, efficient way to reduce, here it is. The Horlick Weight Reducing Plan. This plan has been tested, tried, and approved by literally thousands of once overweight women. In a recent test in Chicago, for instance, women lost on an average more than 3.5 pounds each in only 3 weeks. Here's what the plan is. Every noon, in place of a heavy, hard-to-digest lunch, you simply mix yourself a good glass full of Horlicks malted milk, hot or cold, whichever you prefer. That's all there is to the plan. And how ideal it is for hot weather. Nourishing, sustaining, easy to digest, Horlicks is just the thing for a hot weather lunch, for keeping you fit and alert. Start the plan right away. Keep track of your weight and see if it isn't just as effective as I say. You can get Horlicks malted milk, you know, at your druggist's in either natural or chocolate flavor. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. When Squire Skimp learned that Lum and Abner had announced the grand opening of their new picture show for Saturday night, he immediately started advertising that his show, Skimp's Hippodrome, would open Friday night. Now, Lum and Abner have gone him one better by announcing a preview, an advance showing of their picture for Friday afternoon, thereby gaining the distinction of opening the first picture show in Pine Ridge. As we look in on Pine Ridge today, we find Abner, with paintbrush in hand, decorating the front of the new theater. Lum is just approaching. Listen.
Did you make an announcement, Lum?
Yeah, I made 2 of them. That's why it's taken me so long.
Well?
Waiter Abernathy come over there and wanted to buy some groceries, and I had to stop and wait on her, so I just decided to make another announcement while I was there.
Uh-huh.
I invited all the children, told them they could get in for nothing.
Well, good.
How you getting along with the painting?
Why, all right, I reckon. I've been working ever since you left.
Wait a minute. What are you doing there?
Why, I'm just painting the box office like you told me to.
Well, I never told you to paint the glass, too, though.
You told me to paint the whole business. I asked you just before you left if you wanted the whole thing painted, and you said yes.
Well, I never meant for you to paint the windows, too, though. What do you think I put that glass in there for if we was going to paint over it?
Well, that's just what I've been wondering.
If we was going to paint over it, we may as well use boards. Been a heap cheaper.
Why, sure. I don't know what you was thinking about, Lum.
Well, we've got to have the glass for me to look through, Abner. How am I going to see the customers when they come up to the window there?
Well, I thought that's what you had that little hole cut in the glass for.
That's to talk through.
Well, you can see through it, too. Come in here. I'll just show you.
I know you can see through it. You can't see enough to tell who it is buying the tickets, though.
Well, what do you care who it is buying them? Just as long as they shove the money through there.
Well, I'd love to be able to speak to folks when they come up to buy a ticket.
Well, they can hear you through that hole.
Yeah, they can hear me, but I want to know who I'm talking to.
Well, why don't you ask them in?
Yeah, that'd sound fine. That would be fine. Somebody come up there and stick a quarter through that hole, and I'd say, "Who are you?" And they'd say, "John Smith." And I'd say, "Good evening, John."
You mean old John Smith that lives over there on the old Dilly Honey place? Why, he wouldn't give a quarter to see nothing, Mom.
Why, of course not.
Well, how's he going to get in the show then? You ain't going to let him in for nothing, are you?
Why, no, I just said John Smith. It could be somebody else just as easy.
Yeah, that's right. You can't see very good through that glass, can you? It might have been Charlie Withers. Now, them two looks enough alike to be own brothers.
No, it wasn't Charlie Withers.
Why? Let's see. Who could it have been?
It weren't nobody. I just
well,
said
how'd
John...
that quarter get in there then?
What quarter?
Why, the one you said
Oh,
was
for
stuck...
goodness sakes, what's the matter with you anyway, Abner?
What's the matter with me?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Well, I don't know, Doc Miller says it's a rheumatism, but I believe it's my eyes. They ain't been right since we bought them spectacles. You know, all our family's far back as I can
Well, don't
recollect.
start that, Abner. I ain't got time to stand here and listen to all your ailments. We've got to get this show ready to open by tomorrow afternoon. Instead of helping, you're a hindrance. The ideas of painting all that glass over there. Keeps me busy undoing what all you did. May as well break the glass out as to have it that way. What did you do that for?
Well, you said that I may as well break it out of there.
Well, you crazy idiot. I never meant... Just get out. Give me that paintbrush. Now get out of here before I lose my patience.
Well,
What?
everything's going wrong. You jump on me over here, and Elizabeth bawled me out before I left the place this morning, just for knocking a pitcher of sorghum off the table. I never knowed where my elbow was at. Well, I knowed, but I forgot about having
Well,
it.
don't start that now, Abner. Just forget about it. It's all right. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I reckon I flew off the handle. I can't stand that whimpering, I know that.
Well, it just looks like everything I try to do is wrong.
Well, that's all right now, Abner. We can put a new glass in there and take some turpentine and clean the paint off the rest of it. Just let it go. It's all right.
You want me to get a rag and some turpentine and start taking it off?
No, never mind. I'll tend to it myself.
What do you want me to be doing?
Well, first thing I'd do if I was you, I'd quit leaning again that wet paint there.
Oh, my goodness, Mike. Now Elizabeth will throw a transom sure enough for me.
Just sit down over there for a few minutes, Abner.
Look
Sort
at
of
that.
calm yourself down. You're getting jumpy.
Huh?
Nothing I... Wait a minute. Here comes Dick Huddleston now, for goodness sake.
Lum, don't tell him how come that glass broke out of there.
No, I won't say nothing. Well, howdy, Dick.
Well, howdy. I've got some good news for you.
Some good news.
Yeah, I'll
I'd
get
love
down-
to hear it.
Well, what's the matter here? Did you have an accident?
Yeah, we accidentally run a paintbrush through that window there.
Well, what are you doing painting the windows for anyway, Lum?
Oh,
We can get that off, Dick. See, we're just going to take some turpentines and a rag and then
you
just
say
rub that
you've
off.
got some good news for us, Dick?
Yeah. Cedric was down at the store a while ago, and he was telling me that Squire Skimp's over there just throwing one fit after another.
Throwing fits.
Yeah.
Well, what's the matter with him?
Why, he's mad because you fellas are going to beat him opening up your show.
Oh, yeah, well, fine. I'm proud he's throwing them then.
Yeah, I am.
The film that he's going to use won't get in here till Friday afternoon late. So he won't have a chance to beat you to the opening. Your preview will be over by that time.
Well, good for him. I mean, good for us. Good. Granny.
Doggy, this is one time we got the best of him. I figured sure he'd study up some way to beat us to the opening.
Well, I reckon Squire's finding out by now that he's up against a couple of fellers that's just a little smarter than he is.
While we're in Pine Ridge, let's look in on Squire Skimp's Hippodrome for just a moment and see what the competitive house is doing. We find Squire and Grandpap Spears in Squire's office. Listen.
Well, Squire, it just looks like Lum and Abner got the best of you this time.
Yes, what do you mean got the best of me, Grandpap?
Well, it just looks like they're going to get that show of theirs opened up first in spite of all you can do.
Well, I don't know about that. I've got another little stunt in mind that might change the looks of things a little bit. I want to ask you, too, what is this woman's organization here, this Civic Improvement Club they've got here?
You mean Ladies Auxiliary?
No, that ain't the name of it.
Oh, the Ladies Uplift League.
Yes, that's the one there. Who is the president of that now?
Why, Sister Simpson, I think, Squire. I know Charity belongs to it.
Yes, let's see. What is Sister Simpson's telephone ring?
Let's see, a short and a long and a short, I believe it is. Don't matter, though. She answers the phone every time it rings, regardless of who you ring anyway.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to her about a little matter. I believe she can help me.
Now, don't tell her nothing you don't want everybody in town to know. Now, she's the worst hand in the world.
Wait, just a minute. Hello? Mrs. Simpson? Why, this is M.K. Skimp talking.
What?
Yes, Mom. I understand that you're the president and the head of the Ladies Uplift League. Mm-hmm. Well, I just wanted to call and commend you on the wonderful work that you and your organization are doing for our little city. Yes, I know that. Yes, I've heard about that, too.
Heard about what?
And I'm glad to know that you ladies are taking such an active and profound interest in our young people.
Yeah.
Yes, Mrs. Simpson, we should all remember that the youth of today are the citizens of tomorrow.
Huh?
Oh, yes, we must protect them against the wrong kind of environment and see that they're given the right type of entertainment. Well, I'm glad that you agree with me on that point, because I'm calling you on a little matter today that I hesitate to mention, but something we should all be concerned with. I wouldn't want my name brought into it, but I feel it's my duty as a citizen of Pine Ridge to tell you that Mr. Edwards and Mr. Peabody are opening up a new picture show in the old cotton warehouse over there.
Well, you ought to know about that.
Well, yes, I suppose you had. They're planning on putting on a matinee tomorrow afternoon, especially for the children of our little city. Now, I happen to know that the picture that they plan to use is one that I most certainly wouldn't want a boy or girl of mine to see. Well, it's what's known in the theater, Mrs. Simpson, as a Western. Yes, a Western. Has a lot of shooting and outlaws all through it. It's a picture that might influence the future of some of our young people. It's my opinion that the child of today should not be educated in the use of firearms. Well, if I was head of your wonderful organization, I'd see that a picture of that kind was never shown in our city, and you ladies have the power to prevent it. Well, that's fine. Yes, I'm glad you feel that way about it. And I trust that you'll be kind enough not to bring my name into the matter in any way.
Yeah, Lum and Abner may be in for a big disappointment tomorrow. ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. Speaking of Horlicks, have you ever thought of it as a cool, refreshing drink for summer? Next time you prepare your Horlicks malted milk, add the powder to cold water or milk instead of hot, and then mix in your usual way. Cold Horlicks, cool in the refrigerator for even better results, is a perfect drink for hot days and nights. Make up some Horlicks tonight and keep a pitcher of it handy in the refrigerator for the unexpected guest or for those thirsty youngsters of yours. Horlicks, you know, is a grand drink for children. If you don't have any Horlicks malted milk, get a package from your druggist in either natural or chocolate flavor. Remember that for fine flavor, for quality and results, be sure to insist on Horlicks, the original. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, Lum and Abner announced that their new theater, the Pine Ridge Planetarium, would open with a matinee this afternoon and invited all the children of Pine Ridge as their guests for the preview. As we look in on the old cotton warehouse that has been converted into a theater, there is a large crowd gathered out in front, and we find Lum and Abner inside. Evidently, something has gone wrong. Listen.
Well, why don't we just let them all in anyway, Lum?
No, we can't do that, Abner. We're getting bad torn up.
Well, we've got to do something. They're all out there wanting in. I bet there's 200 children out there. I never knowed there's that many young'uns in Pine Ridge.
Well, I reckon I may as well go out there and tell them the show's called off till we can get this thing straightened out.
Why, yeah, there's no use to keep them standing out there.
Well, open the door there, and I'll get up on this chair and try to explain to them.
Can't blame old Sister Simpson anyway. I hate that old woman to pieces. Her and her fancy Uplift lead. Are you ready?
Yeah, open the door. Ladies and gentlemen, quiet everybody, please. Just a minute, please.
Yeah, Mom's going to make a speech. Quiet, quiet.
Let's have it quiet, please. Ladies and gentlemen and children, I've got an announcement that I hate to make, but it just looks like there ain't no way out of it. We advertised that we'd have a free matinee here this afternoon for you children, and we aim to do it. I hate to disappoint you, but the Ladies Uplift League of Pine Ridge come over in a body a while ago and told me and Mr. Peabody that they wouldn't allow this picture of ours to be showed in Pine Ridge. Why, I can't tell you. We've looked at the picture ourselves and can't see no reasons they could object to us showing it, but they do.
Yeah, it's an awful good picture. It's about a girl from a city, and her uncle died out in Arizona and left her a ranch, and she come out there.
They don't want to hear about the picture first.
Well, I just thought being they weren't going to get to see it, I could just tell them about it.
Well, quit interrupting me here.
Yeah.
Now, I can't tell you when we'll be opened up. We're aiming on having a grand opening tomorrow night and showing this same picture, but I reckon now we'll have to wait till we can order another picture out here.
Yeah.
We're awful sorry we had to disappoint you today, but to make up for it, the first night we're open for business, we're going to let all you children in free.
I guess. I mean, that's fine.
We'll let you all know. We'll make an announcement over the party line just as quick as we know when we have our grand opening. I want to thank you all for coming out today and tell you again that we're awful sorry. That's all. Close the door, Abner. Close it. I never hated to do anything so bad in my life.
Yeah. They was awful disappointed, Lum. You could just see their little faces drop when you told them.
Oh, yeah.
Poor little young.
Like giving them something and then taking it away from them.
Yeah.
I feel downright ashamed of myself over it.
Well, Lord, me, Lum, you couldn't help it. It weren't our fault.
No. I hope that blamed Uplift League is satisfied now. Knocking all them young'uns out of seeing a show that they'd all enjoy.
Yeah.
First time most of them's ever had a chance to see a picture show.
Well, what all did the women have to say, Lum?
Well, directly after you went home to eat, me and Dick Huddleston were sitting in here talking about the show for this afternoon, and directly the door opened, and in walked Sister Simpson and the Widder Abernathy and Mose Mooch's woman and Mamie Seastrunk, and said they represented the Ladies Uplift League of Pine Ridge and handed me a note and throwed their heads in the air and pressed out of here.
Well,
Sister Simpson a leading and the rest of them a following.
never said a word, huh?
Well, they never had to say nothing. They had it all wrote out on a sheet of paper.
What did it say? What did it have wrote on it?
Well, it just said that, hold on now, I've got it here somewhere. I think I stuck it in my pocket. Yeah, here it is. Says, we, the members of the Ladies Uplift League of Pine Ridge, do hereby resolve that the picture known as the Texas Kid is not a suitable picture for the young people of our community to see.
For the land's sake.
We therefore demand that the owners of the Pine Ridge Planetarium refrain from showing it in their theater. Signed. And all the members have signed it down here. Now, every woman in town, including your woman, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth?
Yes, sir, right there, Elizabeth Peabody.
Yeah, that's her handwriting, all right. Well, I'll be dead blamed if I don't tell her a thing or... Yes, I might as well just said it to me. I don't see yet, though, how they can keep us from showing it if we're minds to do it.
Well, they can't legally.
Well, I don't believe in letting a bunch of women run our business for us.
Well, Abner, we just can't afford to get the whole town down on us right here at the start. Before we even get opened up good, you might say. See, might not every woman in town belongs to that league. They'd about boycott our theater. I say they'd boycott our theater more than likely.
Is that pretty bad?
Well, what I mean is they might make another resolve over at one of their meetings not to never come to a show. And if they wouldn't come, they wouldn't let their families come, so they'd stop the show business right there.
Well, if they ain't going to let us show no pictures, why, they couldn't come to the show nohow.
Well, tell you the truth, Abner, me and Dick talked about it before he left, and we decided if they was going to raise such a fuss about it, why, we'd go ahead and humor them one time. Then when it's all over, why, they'll feel sort of sheepish about it and try to make up for it by getting us all the business they can.
Yeah?
And we can advertise that the Pine Ridge Planetarium is cooperating with the Ladies Uplift League in bringing the best moving pictures from Pine Ridge. Then they'll break their necks to come out to see what we're putting on so we won't put nothing over on. Granny, I bet they don't miss the show.
Yes, sir, I hadn't thought about that now. That is a good idea.
Well, I studied it all over careful, and I'm proud now I never said nothing out of the way to them.
No.
I reckon this is about the first time anybody's ever agreed with them on anything since they've had that club started. They're always poking their nose into somebody's business.
Yeah, old Killer Weehunt sure run him out of his blacksmith shop when they come down there and try to make him quit letting the fellers pitch horseshoes.
Yeah, I heard about that. He ought to have pitched a horseshoe right around that scrawny little neck of Sister Simpson. Just make a ringer right there on her neck.
Wonder what that'd count.
I don't know, but she'd a win on bound.
Well, I still can't understand what objections they'd have to that picture. I never seen nothing out of the way about it.
Why, of course
I
not.
looked at it 6 times.
What do they know about it anyway? They haven't even saw it.
That dogged we ought to just brung them all down here and let them see it for themselves.
Wait a minute. Now, that ain't a bad idea, Abner, right there. Why didn't we think about that?
I did. Just now I thought of it.
I mean, why didn't we think of it while they was down here?
Well, I never even knowed nothing about it till just a while ago. I couldn't have thought of it.
I don't know, though. They'd more than likely be too stubborn. They wouldn't change their minds now after they've come out and declared themselves that way.
Well, law me, Lum, if they're going to object to this picture, why, they will any one that we bring out here.
Yeah, I'm getting disgusted with the whole thing. If they're going to be trying to run things for us, we may as well just close up right now.
Well, I'd hate to do that after spending all this money getting opened up.
Well, I would too. I don't know. It just looks like everything in the world has happened to keep us from opening up.
Yeah, first it was Squire Skimp, and now it's the Ladies Uplift League.
And that's what I hate about it. I thought we had this thing figured out to where we get our show opened up first. Looks like now that we ain't got a chance because Squire's going to open up tonight, sure.
Yeah, why don't they just go over there and stop his show if they want to stop something? Him with them fancy electric lights out there in front.
Well, Abner, it just looks like every time we get into anything outside the store business, everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Here we started out to do something for the town, putting in its first picture show. And then Squire had to bob up and put one in, too. Now then, the Ladies Uplift League is butting in and keeping us from opening up.
Well, it just looks like that we've joined up partners with hard luck on them. It sure does.
I don't know what to do. I'm about ready to take out. Only good I can see that we did is just fix up this old cotton warehouse.
Well, you can't guess where I've been.
Well, what's that, Dick?
I got some good news for you.
Well, for goodness sake.
I went over to Sister Simpson, got her to call a meeting of the Uplift League, and I had a little talk with them.
You was at the meeting yourself?
Yes, sir, and I got to the bottom of this whole thing. Found out that Squire Skimp is at the bottom of the whole business.
Well, Squire Skimp.
Well, he ain't joined the Woman's Uplift League, has he?
Well, I see. If he's a member of the Uplift League, no wonder they stopped him.
No, he hadn't joined it yet, I don't think. But he called Sister Simpson yesterday afternoon and told her that this picture wasn't suitable for the young people of the town to see. And that's the reason that they're raising such a fuss about it.
Well, I'll be dead. Might have known that.
So I just explained to him why he started such a store as that. They showed him how he was using their organization to fight competition. I told them I'd guarantee that this picture is all right. So they agreed to let you go ahead and run it.
Well, good for you.
Oh, you told him that Squire just made all that up, huh?
Yeah, I just told him that he was using them to hurt your business over here. That's all he's doing. And are they mad? They all got up, took a standing vote to boycott his picture show over there.
Well, what do you know about
And
that?
not only that, but I was talking to Cedric Wehunt on my way over here just now, and he's been in the county seat to get the film for Squire's show tonight. You know, it's supposed to come in on the afternoon train, and it didn't come.
It never come in?
No.
Well,
so you fellas can still beat him opening up. Have a matinee tomorrow afternoon and beat him.
Granny, just let me get to a telephone. I want to make an announcement on the party line.
Well, it looks like our old friends will be the first to open a picture show in Pine Ridge after all. Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. Horlicks malted milk. You know, when I talk about Horlicks, I often think what a remarkable place this old world of ours really is. Here am I telling hundreds of thousands of people about the same malted milk that several years ago I gave to my own baby daughter. Times certainly have changed a lot in the last few years, but Horlicks will always be the original and genuine malted milk, although there are many imitations on the market today. Horlicks is made from full, rich cream milk, carefully selected wheat and malted barley, specially processed to bring out the rich malt flavor and to preserve the vitamins and minerals. You can always rely on Horlicks, knowing it's the best for both quality and results that money can buy. Always be sure and insist on Horlicks, the original. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, the Pine Ridge Planetarium opened Saturday afternoon with a free matinee that drew a capacity crowd. However, Squire Skimp got all the paid admission business Saturday night. And Lum and Abner haven't taken in enough business to pay expenses. As we look in on Pine Ridge today, we find the two old fellows down at the Jump and Down store, evidently very discouraged with the show business. Listen.
Well, letting them all in for nothing Saturday afternoon might have had something to do with it, Abner.
Yeah, it might have, for I never seen so many people in my life we had down there.
Yeah, they all seen it for nothing that afternoon. Naturally, they weren't going to come back that night and pay to see it.
No, that might have been it, Lum, but I know Squire sure had a crowd over at his place Saturday night. They just might not have broke the stairs down getting up there. Had to run the picture over twice, Elizabeth said.
Elizabeth said. Was she there?
Oh, yeah, her and Pearl both went.
Well, that's a fine howdy to do. Your whole family going over to our competitor's place of business.
Well, they done saw our show Saturday afternoon, Lum.
They could at least come back that night and made it look like we had a crowd anyway. I think Grandma and Grandpa Bates got kind of low from sitting down there in the front row by themselves.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised. But it was nice of them to come, wasn't it?
Well, yes, but they went to Squire's place first, you know. They never knowed it was in the old lodge hall upstairs there, and Grandma weren't able to climb them steps. That's the reason they come over there.
Yeah, well, sir, that's one advantage we've got over Squire, having ours on the ground floor that way.
Yeah, we'll get all them that can't climb them steps over there, but I hate to take just the leavings that way. I got awful lonesome sitting out there in the box office in front there.
Yeah, I know. I had to wake you up when I come out there to tell you that the show was over. You sound asleep.
Well, something's got to be did. I know we can't go on this way. Ain't even paying extra.
I believe that's all right now.
Yeah. I hope it ain't nobody wanting groceries delivered. I ain't in no humor to put up no grocery order.
No, me neither.
Hello? This is the Pine Ridge Planetarium, Jot 'em Down store talking. I mean, Lum and Abner's talking. Who? Oh, how are you, Miss Phillips? Why, we've got the same picture that we had Saturday, the Texas Kid. It's an uncommonly good... Oh, you did? Well, you might enjoy seeing it again. I know I liked it better the second time.
Yeah, me too. No one saw it better now.
Well, of course, everybody's different that way. Well, we're going to change pictures Wednesday night again. Yes, Mom. Well, I don't know yet what it'll be. We don't know till they get out here, you know. Yes, Mom. All right, thank you for calling. Yeah. Goodbye, Mom. Oh, goodbye.
Are they coming to the show tonight, huh?
No, she said she's seen it Saturday afternoon free for nothing.
Oh.
Granny's, every time that phone's rung today, it's been somebody won't know what the picture show's going to be tonight, and when I tell them, they all say they've seen it Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I believe that's a mistake, keeping that same picture for 3 days that way now.
Well, I asked that fellow who runs the lyric in there at the county seat, and he said he kept the same picture for 3 days because it was cheaper that way.
Yeah, but now Squire Skimp's got a brand new one tonight. Going to have Granddaddy Longlegs over there.
Daddy Longlegs is the name of it. You're thinking about them bugs they call Granddaddy Longlegs.
No, I was thinking about the picture all right, but I just said the wrong name.
That's what I say.
Oh.
That's what's been worrying me all day. I'm just busting to see that picture, but I don't think it'd look right for us to be going over to the Squire show.
No. Of course, we might dress ourselves up to where nobody would know it.
Dress ourselves up?
Yeah. I was just thinking I could wear that Santa Claus suit I've got over at the place I used last Christmas over at the schoolhouse there.
Yeah, you look fine over there if that get up on this time of year. Children's all see you and think it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
Break up the show over there. They'd all want to follow you out of there.
Hey, doggies, now that might be a good idea. I could just lead them right on over at our show and charge them all 10 cents to follow me inside.
That wouldn't work that now.
It might.
I might could wear a pair of them dark sunglasses and pull my hat down over my face right good where nobody wouldn't know me.
Well, Lord me, Lum, you couldn't see the show with them smoked glasses on.
Yeah, that's right. Granny, I wish nobody around here knowed me. No, I don't know.
Oh, there's our ring again.
Yeah, I'll get it. Hello? This is Jot 'em Down store. Lum and Abner's doing the talking. Why, we've got the same show tonight that we had Saturday, the Texas Kid.
Well, now they won't show me down here.
Oh, yes, it is. It's an uncommonly good picture. You will? Well, good for you. Good for you. All right, Mose, we'll be looking for you. Much obliged. There's a fine man, you know it.
Who was it, Mose?
Yeah, and they're coming to the show tonight. He had to work Saturday and couldn't see it.
Oh, him, huh?
Well, what's the matter?
Well, nothing, except you give him a pass, didn't you?
Huh? Yeah, that's right, I did.
Why, sure.
I wished I'd thought of that so I wouldn't have been so nice to him. We may have to run that whole show for just him and his family.
Well, I wondered...
Wait, look yonder.
Oh, for goodness sakes, what's he doing coming over here?
I don't know.
Looks to me like he'd have learned enough the other day when we run him out over there to stay away from us.
Yeah, Granny. Found he's coming over here for another one of his propositions trying to buy us out.
Well, ain't no telling, Dad. Blame it, I wish he'd stay away from here.
Yeah, I'm surprised him showing his face again. Don't act mad at me. We don't want him to think we're downhearted or nothing. He don't know how much business we're doing, you know.
That makes him think we're doing a big business, huh?
Oh, yeah. Don't let him now. Come in, Squire.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. How are my old friends today?
You mean us?
Oh, we're both feeling all right, I think. Ain't we, Lum?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, how's the show business, man?
Well, just fine. Awful well pleased with it.
How's it with you, Squire?
Well, frankly, gentlemen, I'm a little disappointed. I never had to give but 2 shows Saturday night, but I look for a nice turnout tonight. Expect to run 3 or 4 shows anyway. A good picture I've got over there, too.
Yeah, it's a shame you ain't doing no better. I reckon we had most of the business Saturday night.
Huh, Lum?
Hush up, Abner.
Yes, well, I'm making some changes over there. It's going to help things, I believe. I let Grandpap Spears go today and hired the Matinee boys and their string band. Going to have them give a concert out in front of the theater every night there, and I believe it'll attract a big crowd.
You say you let Grandpap go?
Yes, that player piano wasn't enough music by itself.
Well, I thought you had Grandpap sign a 3-month contract to work for you.
Well, I did, Lum, but that was just binding him. There wasn't anything in the contract that said how long that I'd keep it. Yeah, he never sees Squire Skimp get himself into anything that he can't get out of.
It's kind of hard on Grandpap, though. He quit us to go to work for you.
Well, that's his hard luck, Lum. He ought to know what he's assigning.
Well, he knowed. He told us it was a contract.
So Grandpap's out of a job now, huh?
Yes, I'm afraid so. But that's not what I come over to see you men about, so.
Well, if you come over here to make another offer on buying a third interest in our picture show, Squire, you're just wasting your time. I can tell you that.
No, now, Lum, I've changed my mind about that. I wouldn't have a third interest in your show if you'd give it to me. I just wanted to make some arrangements with you men to take care of the overflow from my theater over there.
The overflow?
Yes, I see right now that I'm not going to be able to take care of the crowds over at my place, and if I can make a deal with you to take care of the overflow, I'll send them on over to your place. And I'll give you 5 cents on every one that I send over there.
Wait a minute. You mean anybody that you send over to our show, we just get a nickel of the admission?
Well, yes, I think that's fair enough, Lum. You won't have anybody over there except those that I can't get in my place anyway.
Well, I'll tell you right now, we ain't interested. Our price is a quarter, and that's what you'll have to pay to get in. And when they do pay it, we aim to keep it. The best thing for you to do, Squire, is just run that business of yours and let us run ours.
Yeah, and quit coming over here making these propositions. We ain't interested in nothing that you've got anything to do with.
You think you've got the best of us in this picture show business, but we ain't through yet. Fact is, we ain't good and started.
Well, if that's the way you gentlemen feel about it, all right. But don't come around to me later begging me to make you some kind of an offer. I was just trying to help you, all I was trying to do. But now I'll break you. I'll have that place of yours closed in a week's time.
Well, we'll get along without you, don't you worry.
Yeah, we'll see who does the breaking around here.
Just leave us alone, that's all we ask.
Well, good day, gentlemen, good day.
Hardy to him letting Grandpap go after promised him 3 months' work.
Yeah.
Granny, hand me that statute book, Abner. I've got an idea.
Yeah, sure. What's the matter? What you want with it, Lum?
Grandpap's got a contract that calls for 3 months' work over there, and I believe he can make Squire pay him for 3 months' work whether he works or not.
Well, he ought to after getting Grandpap to quit his job over here.
Let's see, where would I find sticky that in
him
here?
Anyway, I hate that old man.
Ordinances. Don't reckon it'd be in there, city ordinances, would it?
I don't know, Lum. I don't know.
Here's some old ones in there made way back, you know.
Where?
Here's that old one we found once before about it being against the law for a feller to drive an automobile down the main street to have somebody going along in front carrying a red flag warning everybody that he's coming.
Yeah, I recollect that.
But he'd have a hard time doing that nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Here's another old one. It shall be unlawful to hold a theatrical entertainment in any building above the ground floor because of the fire hazard. Any violation of this ordinance...
wait a minute, Lum. Is that still a law?
Yeah, never has been appealed. Of course, nobody don't pay no attention to it.
Could you arrest somebody for running a picture show on the upstairs of a building now?
Wait a minute. I believe I know what you're talking about. Let me read that thing again. It shall be unlawful to hold a theatrical entertainment in any building above the ground floor because of the fire hazard. Any violation?
Well, this looks like a mighty good way to eliminate some very disagreeable competition. Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. Before we start, I have a special message for all you young folks who listen to Lum and Abner. Now that summer is here, every one of you young people should get acquainted with Horlicks malted milk. It's as cool and refreshing a drink as you can possibly find. It'll help build up your muscles, too, keep you healthy and strong, help you to excel in the games you play. What's more, you can make a good glass full of Horlicks yourself. Just mix plenty of the powder with cold water or milk, using Mother's egg beater, and you're all set. Tell Mother you want some Horlicks. Tell her how good and wholesome, how nourishing and easy to digest Horlicks is. Just tell her that and ask her to buy a package at her favorite druggist in either natural or chocolate flavor. Tell Mother which you prefer. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, yesterday, Lum and Abner discovered an old ordinance passed in the early days prohibiting the operation of a theatrical entertainment on the second floor of any building in Pine Ridge because of the fire hazard. As Squire Skimp's Hippodrome is on the second floor, this affords the old fellows an opportunity to eliminate the competition that has been paralyzing business for the Pine Ridge Planetarium. As we look in on Pine Ridge today, we find Grandpap Spears over at the Jot 'em Down store seeking legal recourse after having been discharged by Squire Skimp. Lum not being present, Grandpap is telling his troubles to Abner. Listen.
Well, Grandpap, I thought you had a contract with Squire guaranteeing you 3 months' work.
Well, I thought I did too, Abner. I sure never would have quit you fellers. That's what I wanted to see Lum about.
You mean see him about getting a job?
Well, no, not exactly that. I want him to look at this contract, and I don't know nothing about legal matters, but Squire claims this contract ain't binding to nobody but me.
Yeah, I know. That's what he told us yesterday. And Lum looked it up in his law books to see if he couldn't find some way to make him pay you anyway, but I don't know what he ever done about it.
And it's just got me worried to death. It couldn't have happened at a worse time. I don't know what me and Charity's going to do. I've fooled around now till it's too late to put in a crop this year.
Yeah. Well, you ought not to ever left us over here, Grandpap. We wouldn't have paid you as much as he did, but you'd have had steady work.
Well, Squire got me off and told me this big story, telling me how much more money I'd make if I joined up with him, and I never had no better sense than to listen to him.
Yeah, well, you ought to know by now that a body can't put no dependence in nothing that Squire says.
Oh, I found that out. There's Cedric Weehunt, too. Promised him $10 a week if he'd quit you fellers and go to work for him.
Yeah, I just don't see how he pays any such wages as that.
Well, he ain't a-paying them. Cedric's getting $2.50 a week. Squire cut his wages down after he started to work for him.
Well, we was paying him $3 a week. Looks like he'd quit Squire.
Well, he's afraid to. He'd love to go back to work for you fellers, but he's scared to quit Squire, feared you fellers won't hire him now after quitting the way he did.
Well, I do know. And I thought there was something wrong about these big wages that Squire was paying.
I just hope you fellers run him clean out of business. That's what I hope.
Just betwixt me and you, Grandpap. Now, don't breathe this to a soul. But me and Lum got a way studied up now to close that place of his up tighter than a pair of new shoes.
Yeah, I don't know, Abner. I hope you do, but I got my doubts about it. I'm feared he's too slick for you and Lum.
Yeah, he won't be slick enough to get out of this hole. Now, don't you tell us, but now me and Lum found out that he's a violating the law every time he opens them doors over there.
Violating the law?
Yes, sir.
Well, it ain't against the law to run a picture show, is it?
Well, it is the way he's running his.
Well,
it's a Lum found an old ordinance here in a statute yesterday. It's passed in Pine Ridge in 1907, where it says that it's against the law to have a theater upstairs that way.
It is?
Yes, sir. And Lum's going to get out the papers, and I'm going to start them on. Just close this place right up tonight.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
You ain't lost a thing by getting fired, Grandpap, or you'd be out of work anyway.
Well, I never knowed we had a law like that in Pine Ridge.
Oh, well, we never neither. Nobody does, I don't reckon. But she's sure there. And there ain't another building in town if he can get it. I know he can't afford to build one.
Well, that's the best news I've heard, and I don't know when won't Squire's eyes bug out when he hears about that.
He's going to be mad enough to buy it.
Well, it's good enough for him, too.
Yeah. Why, sure, we had the first idea to put in a show, and just cause we wouldn't sell him a 30 trust in ours, why, he just opened that up for spies.
Yeah, I feel ashamed of myself quitting you fellers and going to work for him.
Well, we never blamed you, Grandpa. He offered you more money, and we're glad to see you get it. Glad to see you get all you could.
Well, that's nice of you to feel that way about it, Abner. I sort of hesitated about coming over here today. I never know.
Yeah, wait, here comes Lum now, Grandpap. He can look that contract over first.
Yeah. You're sure he ain't at me about quitting y'all?
I know. No, you ought to hear him here yesterday when Squire said he let you go. He'd have thought he'd been fired. Yeah, wait a minute. Hey, Lum, look who's here.
Well, I do know. How are you, Grandpap? Oh, just only tolerably, Lum. How's yourself? Oh, I ain't got no complaints to make, I reckon. I hear yesterday Squire let you go over there.
Yeah, Grandpap brought that contract along, Lum. Want you to look it over for him.
Yeah, Squire says there ain't nothing in here to keep him from letting me go anytime he wants to. Well, I'll be glad to read it and give you my opinions on it.
Yeah.
There it is. See if there's any way I can make him pay me for the 3 months' work anyway.
Well, now, Lum can tell by looking at it. I'll guarantee you that.
Well, I don't like to test compliments right in my own face, but I will admit I do know legal matters if I do say so myself.
I'll say he does. You just ought to hear him read out of one of them big law books, Grandpap. He can say might now all them big words that's in there.
Oh, well, ain't nothing to that, Abner. A body gets used to them legal terms that way. It's just like saying little bitty words.
I don't see how he does it.
Agreement, party of the first part, in case Kim does hear
You just ought to hear him when he goes to talking law matters with somebody. He uses so many big words that they don't know what he's talking about half the time.
Well, I do know.
I'd just give anything if I could talk that way. Now, he can read that thing over. He's got there in his hand and tell you just what it means. I get mixed up and party to the first part and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
Yeah, look at the way he squints his eyes up that way. He's a thinking right hard when he does that. He learned that from a county judge in there at Mina. He squints his one up too.
Why, party of the first part, or Milford's Grandpap, was there any witnesses present when you signed this document?
Was there anybody with you is what he's talking about, Grandpap? I know I've heard him say that before.
Well, yeah, my nephew Luke was standing there, but he's went out to Oklahoma to visit some of his wife's relations now. Mm-hmm. Witnesses has dispersed then.
See that?
I reckon we'll have to get out some of them irrigation papers and bring them back over in this state.
That's the wonderfulest thing I ever heard in my life.
I don't know whose jurisdiction this would come under, and it'd be unethical for me to say that the defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but as your retainer, quo vadis, I'd say the hypotheses of the case indicates that that the party of the first part could be held responsible, and the party of the second party can levy on his resources and collaterals.
For the land?
Come over that again, Lum. I don't believe I'm following you.
Yeah, I think I sort of jumped the track there too, Lum.
Well, the whole thing boiled down is that whilst this instrument is binding to the party of the second part, the first party can waive liabilities on the ground of, on the ground of corpus delicto, e pluribus unum, etc., and so forth.
Well, sir, I'd give anything in the world if I could talk like that to where nobody couldn't understand what I was saying.
Well, what I wanted to know, though, Lum, you excuse me for saying so, but what I wanted to know, can I make Squire pay me for that 3 months' work? Well, now, there's something I couldn't tell you, Grandpap. This contract don't say about that one way or the other. Well, I wish there's some way I could get even with him.
Well, I told you, Grandpap, me and Lum's going to get even with him. You know that we'll have that place of his closed up by 6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, just reminds me, too, I better draw up them papers so you can take them over there and serve them on him, Abner.
Oh, ain't you got them fixed up yet?
No, I'll just do that right now. Let me sit down there at the desk.
Yeah, go.
I can find one of them warrants. There ought to be somewhere here somewhere.
I don't believe that you got none, Lum. Ain't no use to look there. Don't you know you was looking for one a while back when Sister Simpson wanted to get out a warrant for Taylor Weeham for letting his stock run loose. It's like we looked all over the place for one.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's all it says, Caleb, too.
Yeah.
Let's see, I might could use one of these hunting licenses. That's got a lot of legal words in it. You can just read it to Squire. You don't have to let him see it or nothing.
Well, I don't know whether I can speak all them big words or not, Lum.
Well, just tell him he's arrested for running a picture show on the second floor of a building. Wait a minute. Here's a search warrant for him.
Oh.
No, that won't do. Ain't no use to search his place over there. We know what he's got in there.
Well, what's wrong with the hunting license blank?
Well, I'm looking at it again. If I fill that thing out, Abner, we'd have him arrested for hunting on the second floor of the building.
Yeah, that ain't against the law, huh?
Well, I don't know where it is or not, but that ain't what he's done. He's running a picture show over there. That's what we want to charge him with.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just write it out on a piece of paper, Lum? It don't have to be on no regular warrant, does it?
No, my kid do that. Hand me that writing tablet over there.
Oh, yeah. And I'll make it just as strong as you can. Dog, this is one warrant that I'm just busting this off. I want to read it right in old Squire's face. I want to go along with that. Oh, me, if he ain't going to be mad when he hears that thing.
Let's see. Warrant for arrest. Me and you's going to have to be the complaining witnesses, Abner.
Well, good.
I, Lum Edwards, and Abner Peabody. I'll just scratch this off rough now. Charge M.K. Skimp with violating ordinance. Wait a minute. That ain't going to look right.
You mean that kind of paper ain't going to work?
No, it ain't that. I just don't like the idea of me and you bringing these charges again. Yeah, it's against the law, ain't it, Lum? Well, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like we're just using the law to fight competition with. If me and you wasn't in the picture show business ourselves, Abner, we wouldn't even think of doing such a thing as this. It's just an old law that ought to have been took off in the record years ago.
Well, it's still the law, Lum.
Yeah, but I don't like to take advantage of my office this way. I never could feel right about it. No, let's just tear it up and forget about it. I just won't do it.
Well, I'll be dead blamed. After all Squire Skimp's done to us, and here you are getting chicken-hearted when we've got a chance to close that place of his up and get shut off.
Well, here now, if that's against the law, I want to see that place closed up. I'll bring the charges against him myself. As a citizen of Pine Ridge, I demand that you make out a warrant for his arrest.
Well, that's the time, Grandpap. Now, you've got to do it, Lum. You're the justice of the peace, and Grandpap's got his right.
Grandpap is one citizen that demands that the law be carried out to the letter. Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. First, let's take a minute or so to help those unfortunate folks among you who have trouble getting to sleep nights. Now listen to this, light sleepers. Here's a plan that may help you. Avoid eating a heavy, hard-to-digest meal last thing at night. Instead, drink a cool, restful glass full of Horlicks malted milk just before going to bed. It'll cool you off and at the same time rest and relax you. Help you to get to sleep easily and naturally. Thousands of Lum and Abner's friends who found Horlicks hot, so beneficial for promoting sleep all winter, find it equally helpful in summer. It's a good idea, by the way, to mix up a pitcherful of Horlicks and keep it on hand in the refrigerator so that it's always ready to serve to your family or guests. They'll appreciate it. Get a package of Horlicks from your druggist in either natural or chocolate flavor. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Even though Squire Skimp is violating an old city ordinance by operating a theater on the second floor of a building in Pine Ridge, Lum refuses to issue a warrant closing his competitor's place of business. Abner thinks this would be a simple way to eliminate competition. And as we look in on the Jot 'em Down store today, we find the old fellow still arguing about the matter. Listen.
Well, Abner, I don't want us to have to resort to no underhanded tic-tacs like that. If we can get our share of the business fair and square, I just don't want it.
Well, that ain't underhanded. The law says that you can't run a theater upstairs here in Pine Ridge, and that's what Squires are doing. He's making a violator of the law every time he opens them doors.
Yeah, but that's an old law that ought to have been appealed long ago.
Yeah, but it wasn't, Lum, and it's still a law. And Grandpappy Spears said that he wanted you to swear out a warrant for his arrest.
Well, Grandpap's just mad because he got fired, and he just wants me to close him up over there to get even with Squire.
Well, that ain't your lookout. You're the justice of the peace, and when someone comes to you and wants you to make out a warrant, well, you've got to do it.
Well, I don't care what I'm supposed to do. I ain't going to do it, and that settles it. I don't want everybody here in Pine Ridge going around saying I've taken advantage of my office to illuminate competition.
Well, Grandpap was over here a while ago, and he wanted to know if I'd solved them papers, and I just told him that you wouldn't make them out. He said he was going to start a movement to get you thrown out of office. He was awful mad about it, just raised
Might
and
as well stop arguing with me, Abner. My mind's made up. You're just wasting your breath.
Well, Dad, blame me, what you used to have, Lord, is...
Huh?
What did you say about my breath?
I say you're just wasting it arguing with me.
Oh, I don't care about that. There's plenty more where it come from.
Plenty more of what?
Breath. I don't mind wasting it. There's full of it.
Yeah, but there ain't no use to waste it. It ain't doing you no good.
Well, how you going to waste your breath?
Why are you talking all the time like you do when you ain't getting nowhere?
I ain't trying to get nowhere. I'm just sitting.
I mean, you ain't getting nowhere with your talk, wasting your breath.
And it don't take a bit more breath to talk than it does to just breathe. May as well be getting some use out of it. Just let the words go out with your breathing.
That's just what you're doing, too. Just letting your words run out with your breathing.
Yeah, that's what I say. It ain't no trouble. I just open my mouth and there they come.
That's just the way you sound, too. Just about that much thought behind what you say.
Thought behind it.
Yeah, you ought to weigh your words before you say them.
Weigh 'em?
Yes, weigh them.
I never would get nothing said if I had to stop and weigh every word.
Well, that's what you ought to do anyway, to sound intelligent.
I never know that before.
It's a good rule to follow. Like that old lettered saying of mine. Speech is silver and silence is gold. No, that don't work very well.
Hello?
Hello? What are you doing?
Hello? No, fellow don't weigh very much, and these scales ain't working very well.
What are you trying to do anyway?
Well, I'm trying to weigh a word here. Must be too light for these scales. What's a good heavy word?
Lead.
Lead.
Oh,
Lead.
for goodness sake.
I know that done it all. Did you see her run up there then? Went right now up to 20. No, I had my hand on it already.
Get away from them scales, Abner. Now, just leave them alone. Sit down there.
Well, I'm just trying to do what you said.
I know what you're trying to do.
You said I ought to weigh every word.
I said you're supposed to weigh them before you say them.
Well, how you going to weigh something before you got it?
Before you've got it.
Yeah, if it ain't a word till you get it said, and it's too late to weigh it.
Abner, I don't mean weigh them on a pair of scales. Weigh them in your head.
In my head?
Yeah.
Have I got something in my head that I can weigh them with?
The way you talk, I don't think you got nothing up there.
Well, how am I going to weigh them up there if there ain't nothing there to weigh them with?
I don't reckon you can. Just forget about it. Forget about it.
I don't believe I can neither.
You're supposed to think before you say something. Study it over good. I don't mean sure enough weigh stuff.
Well, what about potatoes?
What about them?
If somebody comes in here wanting some potatoes, why, you want me to just think about them and study them over good instead of putting them up on the scales and weighing them?
Oh, for goodness sake. Course not, course not. I'm just talking about things you say. When you're talking, watch what you say.
Watch it.
Watch your words. See that you're saying the right thing.
Oh, for goodness sake, Lum. Who ever heard of seeing words? You see them, but you can't see them.
Course not, course not.
Doggies now come to think about it. Do they look like smoke?
Like smoke?
Yeah, does words look like smoke?
Not that I know of.
And I just want to say, in cold weather when I talk, well, there's something that comes out of my mouth that looks like smoke.
That ain't words, Dad. Now, that's your breath. You can't see words.
Oh, yes, you can, too. Some of them you can, I know. What about a newspaper? They got words all over them.
Well, that's reading, though. I'm talking about talking words.
Oh, yeah, you might be right there.
And just forget about words.
I kind of like to talk about them, Lum.
I see you do.
I never had thought much about them before. Just sort of took them for granted that I asked. Words. Reckon what happens to them after you get done saying them, Lum?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't neither. Just float around in the air, I reckon. I'd love to see all the words that's ever been said stacked up in a big pile sometime. Lord, me, no telling how far up in the sky that would go, is it? bound you about half of them be Sister Simpson's, too, amount of talking she does.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Abner, you can talk more foolishness than one man I ever seen in my life.
Foolishness, I'd love to see him. It'd look awful funny to see all the words that anybody's ever said all together that way.
Wait a minute. Yonder comes Dick and Grandpap. Thank goodness for that. I won't have to put up with this no longer. Now, don't get to asking them anything about words. They'll think you've lost your mind. That ain't no secret to me no longer.
No, and I reckon that's 'cause you know me so well. What did you say?
Nothing. Just be quiet. Quit talking so much.
Reckon what Dick and Grandpap's a wanting anyway.
I don't know. Hope Grandpap's changed his mind about swearing out the warrant against Squire.
Swan Lum, you're the beatenest fella I ever seen in my life.
Well, gentlemen.
Well, howdy, Lum. Hello, Abner. Yeah, howdy. Come in.
What you fellas wearing such long faces about? Looks like you just heard judgment was a-coming in the morning.
No, we want to have a little talk with you, Lum.
Yeah, Abner told me a while ago that you refused to get out them papers against Squire Skimp, Lum, and I went down and told Dick about it, and he feels just like I do.
Yeah, Lum, if that's a violation of a city ordinance to operate a picture show on the second floor of a building that way, and Grandpap wants you to make out a complaint, well, there's no reason why you shouldn't issue the warrant.
Well, the thing of it is, Dick, that old ordinance was passed way back in the early days of Pine Ridge. Nobody don't pay no attention to them old laws no more. There's another in there about somebody having to carry a lantern and a red flag out in front of an automobile when it's going down the street.
Well, they may not enforce them, but they're still laws. Until they're struck off the record, well, they're laws, and they should be abided by.
Well, you think we ought to go around arresting folks for driving automobiles unless they got somebody walking along in front of them?
Well, no, but that isn't like this other one, Lum. It doesn't risk the people's lives around here like this theater law.
Yeah, but if I was to close Squire Skimp up, everybody in town would say I just done it to get shut of her competition.
I know, but that isn't the point, Lum. You took this office and swore that you'd carry out the law.
Well, I'm just trying to do right, Dick.
Yeah, you're just afraid of Squire. That's what's the matter with you.
No, it ain't that, Grandpap. If Abner and me wasn't in the picture show business ourselves, and you come in here and swore out a warrant, I'd go ahead.
Lum, regardless of what your feelings are in it, the place ought to be closed. All the big crowds he's having in there and just got that one little stairway for him to get out.
Yeah.
If the fire was to break out up there, well, they'd be trapped like rats.
Granny's, I never thought about that.
Well, that's the truth.
Why, they can't hardly get out of there when the show's over now. That stairway ain't over 3 foot wide. Why, it's worth a body's life to try to get out of there when the show's over. Me and Elizabeth was over there the other night. Of all the pushing and shoving, I never seen the like of it in my life. And if a fire was to break out, what would it be like?
Why, it'd be terrible. They'd stack up in that stairway there till couldn't nobody get out. That old frame building is just a regular fire trap anyway.
Yeah, sure it is. It's burned just like kindling wood.
Think of the children, Lum. If you refuse to issue a warrant closing that place and anything happens over there, why, you'd be indirectly responsible for those lives. You just can't let that show stay up there.
I don't know what to do.
Well, now, Grandpap and I, as taxpayers, are demanding that you close that place up. I know how you feel about it, and I admire you for it. But I'm telling you right now, if you don't do something before night, well, we'll find some other way to have it done.
Well, all right. We'll close him up.
And wouldn't we all like to be present and see that warrant served? Everybody, here we are all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. Did you know that this famous original malted milk is the very same one that nutritionists and dietitians are recommending for use in weight control? Here's what they are telling overweight folks to do. To drink a glass full of Horlicks every noontime instead of eating a heavy, hard-to-digest meal with its weight-inducing excess calories. These experts select Horlicks because this specially processed malted milk is an exceptionally well-balanced food and a rich source of the minerals and vitamins essential for proper nourishment. They know that a weight control plan based upon Horlicks is safe as well as effective. So if you want to reduce, follow the advice of medical experts and reduce the Horlick way. You can get Horlicks in half-pound, pound, or 5-pound packages at any druggist, in either natural or chocolate flavor. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, Lum, as Justice of the Peace, has been forced to issue a warrant closing the picture show of his competitor, Squire Skimp. It seems there's an old ordinance in Pine Ridge prohibiting the operation of a theatrical entertainment of any kind on the second floor of any building because of the fire hazard. This places Lum in a rather embarrassing position, as he is afraid there will be some who might think that he has used his office of Justice of the Peace to fight competition. As we look in on Pine Ridge today, we find Lum and Abner over at the Jot 'em Down store. Now that they have the only picture show in Pine Ridge, the old fellows are taking a renewed interest in their business. Lum has just called their friends on the party line to make an announcement. Listen.
Hey, you better go ahead and start talking, Lum. He'll be hanging up a receiver there.
Yeah, well, be quiet. Howdy, everybody. This is Lum Edwards, advertising manager of the Pine Ridge Planetarium talking.
Advertising manager?
I've just got a few announcements to make in regards to our picture show.
When did he get to
I reckon most of you has heard by now that Skimp's Hippodrome's been closed up.
Yeah, goody.
And from now on, we're going to have a different picture every night instead of having them 3 days a week like we've been doing.
Fine.
We're going to do our best to bring you folks the latest pictures.
Yeah.
Another thing, just 'cause we ain't got no competition now, we don't aim to raise our prices none. They're going to stay right where they're at, 10 and 25 cents.
For children and grown.
10 cents for the children's and 25 cents for the adults.
That's right.
Now, for tonight, we have for your approvals that old favorite, David Copperfield. This is a picture you all ought to see, and something you need to be afraid to bring your young'uns to.
No.
The show starts prompt at 7 o'clock, and it'll be out by 9:30, so you won't miss too much sleep. Recollect the Pine Ridge Planetarium, the place where you see the movie stars, presenting David Copperfield, come one, come all. I thank you.
Doggy, that ought to bring him out, Lum.
Sounded all right, did it?
Oh, yes, sirree. You just plumb outdone yourself on that.
After that party line's a handy thing at all for advertising. Nice thing about it, it don't cost nothing either.
No, but ringing that fire alarm so much, just get them to the phone so you can make them speeches, Lum, while you're liable to get them where they wouldn't pay no attention if we was to have a fire show enough.
Yeah, maybe we better start calling Doc Miller's ring for a while. Everybody listens in to see who's down sick when you ring him anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Abner, looks like we've sort of got our things our way at last now.
Yeah.
Or to make some money out of this picture show business after all.
Yeah, well, the only thing that's kept us from it so far has been Squire Skimp. But we got him out of the way now.
Yeah, I still don't feel just right about it, though. I dread for the case to come up in my Justice of the Peace court tomorrow.
Well, I wish you'd quit worrying about that, Lum. It weren't your fault.
Well, I just don't want nobody to think that me and you closed Squire up just to help our own business.
Well, we closed him up 'cause he was violating the law, running a theater on the second floor of a building. Ain't our fault if he was in the same business that we are.
Well, he thinks we done it just to help ourselves, though.
Oh, yeah, he thinks so. That's what made him so mad yesterday.
I wasn't surprised, though, Dad. I figured he'd be mad before he ever went over to serve him papers on it.
Oh, I never seen a man get so mad over anything in my life. He just ranted and raved.
He did, huh?
Yes, sir. If he does all the things that he says he's going to, why, me and you better just stay as far away from him as we can for a while.
Stay away from him.
Yeah, I told you what all he said. He weren't joking neither.
Well, he'll cool off. More than likely today he's having his regrets what all he said yesterday.
And he made me so mad I started once to just slap them handcuffs on him and march him right over to jail, lock him up for calling me all them names. But I never. Oh, he was mad.
Yes, Squire flies off in the handle much. Well, look, he coming yonder.
Where?
Cedric Weedham's coming up out there.
Well, I do know.
I reckon we knocked Cedric out of a job when we closed Squire up that way.
Well, it's good enough for him. He had no business quitting us in the first place.
No, he just let Squire talk him into it. That's the trouble. Cedric means well. Makes mistakes like all the rest of us, of course.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's honest, all right. Honest as a day is long. Huh?
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what I mean by that. How could anybody be as honest as a day is long?
I don't know. You're the one that said it. I've heard it before.
Well, that don't make good sense.
Well, don't argue with me about it. You're the one that said it.
Honest as a day is long. That's the silliest thing I ever heard.
Well, howdy, Cedric. Come in.
Yeah,
Come in.
glad to see you, Cedric.
How do you do, sir? How y'all?
Why, all right, I reckon, Cedric.
How you been making it, Cedric?
Oh, pretty good, I think. I lost my job over there at Mr. Squire.
Well, that ain't nothing to laugh about, is it, losing your job?
No, Mom, but I was just thinking, here I am back again. Right back where I started at.
Yeah, I see ya.
Yeah, it's a shame Squire's place had to close up, Cedric, and throw you out of work.
Yeah, and it's too bad that we ain't got nothing for you to do neither, Cedric. We might let you go back to work for us.
Yeah, if Abner hadn't learned how to run that picture machine, we might could use you down there at the picture show. But we don't need you now.
Yes, Mom.
And we ain't doing enough business here in the store to afford to hire nobody neither.
No, Mom.
Cedric, you just got to where you're taking us for granted here. Just think you can quit and then come back to work anytime you want to.
Yes, Mom, I must be. Must be.
Yeah.
And quit saying yes, Mom, and no, Mom.
Yes, Mom. No, Mom. Well,
Old Squire got pretty mad when I filed that warrant on him yesterday, didn't he, Cedric?
you ain't saw him mad yet, though. You ought to see him over there today. I just now left over. I went over a while ago to draw my pay, but he was so mad I was scared to ask him first.
Oh, he's unsafe to be around, that fella, when he gets mad.
I just turned around and walked on. Never said nothing to him about it.
I don't blame you. That's just what I done yesterday.
You fellas ain't got no drinking water around here, have you? No place, don't reckon.
Why, yeah, there's a whole bucket full sitting right over on the counter, Cedric. I just drawed it a while ago. It's plum fresh.
Yeah, help yourself, Cedric. And keep your hands out of that candy case, though.
And the Cracker Barrel.
Yes, Mom.
And quit saying yes, Mom.
Yes,
Son, that's all that boy knows. Yes, Mom, and no, ma'am. I'll get tired of hearing it.
Yeah, I reckon Squire just now sort of beginning to realize this ain't no joke closing him up.
Yeah.
He's that mad.
More than likely, the word sort of got passed around, you know, and everybody's jostling about us getting the best out of him. That's about what makes
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, ain't no use to get mad about it. That won't help him none.
No, but if I was you, Lum, I'd just stay out of his way for a while yet anyway. Ain't no use to just ag on trouble.
No, but I've got to see him tomorrow afternoon when the case comes up in my court. I'm a-dreading it, too.
Well, maybe he won't hurt you, Lum.
Won't hurt me.
No.
Well, that ain't what I'm worrying about. I just hate to try the case in my court, for I know Squire's going to think that I'm closing him up just to get even with him. And if I don't close him up, why, everybody's going to think I turned him loose because I'm scared of him.
Yeah, well, if I was you and he's come
Well,
up
one, two, goodness. Look over yonder. Look at Cedric.
Oh,
Straightening up that canned goods and dusting stuff off just like he's a-working here.
well, we never give him no job, did we?
Why, no, we just went to work. Now, what you going to do with a boy like that?
Yeah, we ought to just fire him.
Well, how we going to fire him? We ain't even hired him.
Oh, well, I don't know. Looks like he's got her.
Cedric, we told you we
Oh,
never
my
needed
goodness
nobody.
alive, Lum. Look, there comes Squire Skimp, Lum. Look there.
Well, let him come. Let him
Lum,
come.
we better lock the front door. I don't want you to get hurt now.
Well, don't you worry about me. I'll take care of myself.
I know that I'm going to get out of here, Lum. I know what he said he's going to do to me. I'm a leave.
I expect I better leave too, Mr. Lum. I don't want to be around when this thing happens. What time do you want me to be down to the picture show tonight?
Why, about 6:30, I guess, Cedric.
Well, I'll see you down there at 6:30 then.
Well, I'll be back in a little bit, too.
Well, here, Cedric, you ain't working for us. Hold on a minute. Oh, for goodness sake. I reckon we ain't got no say-so about it.
Lum, what's the meaning of all this buffoonery? Closing up my theater. That's the way a card fight competition.
Oh, come in, Squire. Sit down, sit down.
Sit down nothing. I don't want to sit down. I want an explanation. You can't close my business up with some little law that you made yourself just to fit your own purpose.
Now, Squire, if you'll sit down, I can explain it to you. I can show you the ordinance if you want to see it.
Well, I'd love to see it.
I never had a thing to do with it. The warrant was swore out by 2 citizens of Pine Ridge, and me and Abner was just carrying out the duties of our office.
Well, now, you're not putting a thing over on me, Lum Edwards. This is your idea all the way through, and I know it. And if you think you can run me out of business with some law that you've concocted yourself, you've got another guess coming, because I ain't going to stand for it.
Well, Squire, your case is set in my Justice of the Peace Court tomorrow afternoon. There'll be plenty of time then to argue the case. I'm sorry if you think that I'm trying to take advantage of you. I wish somebody else was presiding over the case.
Well, I do too, and maybe we'd see justice. But I'll tell you this right now, Lum. If Kent's Hippodrome is forced to close its doors, if you rule against me in that car tomorrow afternoon, it'll be the biggest mistake you ever made in your life. And just remember, I warned you. Good day.
We wonder what bearing these threats will have on Lum's decision when that case comes to trial tomorrow. This is Carlton Bricker, speaking for Lum and Abner and Horlick, who now bid you all good night and good health.